My name is Dr. Christopher Colasurdo, and I'm excited to be teaching you what is ABA. Before we jump into definitions or terminology, I want to start with a question. Think about the last time you changed your own behavior. Maybe you started exercising more, or you stopped checking your phone while you were driving. Maybe you quit smoking and started saving more money. Now ask yourself, why did your behavior change? Was it motivation? Was it consequences? Was it the environment around you? Applied behavior analysis, or ABA, is fundamentally the science of answering that question, not just for ourselves, but for everyone's behavior. Now let's talk about what ABA is not. Let's start by clearing up some very common misconceptions about ABA. ABA is often misunderstood even by other professionals. So the first misconception is that ABA is only for students with special needs. This is one of the biggest myths. ABA is actually the science of behavior, which means that it applies to all human behavior. We use ABA in education, in business, during sports performance, in parenting, in therapy, through organizational management, and even health and fitness. If behavior is involved, ABA principles apply. The second misconception is that ABA is only about reducing problem behavior. While behavior reduction is sometimes necessary, that is not the primary goal. The real goal of ABA is teaching meaningful skills. So some examples include communication or social skills, making individuals more independent, working on academic skills or emotional regulation, and even daily living skills like washing your hands or using the bathroom. In other words, ABA is about building behavior and not just stopping behavior. The third misconception is that ABA is bribery. Often people will say, oh, you're just bribing them. But bribery and reinforcement are very different concepts. A bribe is offered before a behavior to stop a problem. So for example, telling your child, if you stop screaming, I'll give you candy. Reinforcement, on the other hand, happens after a behavior to strengthen it. So for example, you finished your homework, nice job, here's some extra break time. The timing and purpose of those consequences are very important. The fourth misconception is that ABA destroys motivation. Actually, good ABA does the opposite. ABA helps us identify what motivates people and use that information to promote learning. All learning depends on motivation. And if you remove motivation, learning stops. ABA simply studies how that motivation works. The fifth misconception is that ABA turns students into robots. This criticism usually comes from seeing very structured teaching methods taken out of context. Yes, those structured teaching methods, like discrete trial teaching, do exist. But ABA also includes natural environment teaching, play-based instruction, social interaction strategies, communication training, and self-management. In reality, good ABA aims to produce flexible, independent behavior, not robotic responding. The sixth misconception is that ABA ignores emotions or internal experiences. ABA does not deny that thoughts and emotions and feelings exist. Instead, ABA focuses on observable behavior and environmental variables because those are things that we can measure and ultimately change. We cannot directly observe someone's thoughts, but we can observe behavior that is influenced by those thoughts. And the final misconception is that ABA is a cure for autism. ABA is not a cure, but it is a scientific approach to improving quality of life through behavior change. Next, let's talk about what ABA is. So if that was what ABA is not, what is ABA? There are several core characteristics. The first is that ABA is individualized, meaning every intervention that we use is tailored to the individual learner. Two students may show the same behavior, for example, leaving their seat during class, but the reason for that behavior may be very, very different. One student may want attention. Another may want to escape difficult work. Because of that, the intervention applied to those two behaviors must be individualized and different. The next is that ABA is socially significant. That means ABA focuses on behaviors that matter. These are behaviors that improve someone's independence, their safety, their communication, their overall participation in society, and quality of life. If a behavior change does not improve someone's life in a meaningful way, it probably should not be a focus of an intervention. The next is that ABA is systematic. ABA interventions are not random. They're carefully planned and implemented in a structured and reliable way. This allows practitioners to determine, did the intervention actually work, or was there some other variable that caused the change? Next, ABA is data-driven. In ABA, we focus a lot on measuring behavior constantly. Why? Because human judgment alone is unreliable. Data allows us to answer questions like, is the behavior actually improving? Is our intervention working? Or do we need to change our strategies? Without data, we are just guessing. And finally, ABA should be fun. Learning happens best in environments that are engaging, motivating, positive, and overall reinforcing. Good ABA sessions often look like play, interaction, and focus on successful experiences.